Hi, thanks for watching this video. My name is Bobby. I'm the pastor at Stonehill Church in Princeton. So this is our first installment in our 4-week series on dating. This is a recap video. Each week after I'm done teaching, I'm going to recap the lesson for you at home, the parent, maybe for students who missed the previous youth group, so that you can catch up on what's going on. Also for the parent, this should be helpful for you so that you can continue the conversation in the home. I also like to provide a couple of resources for you to continue your study and look into biblical categories of relationships. So last night we had to start up by defining what dating is ultimately, and we found out we had to look into culture to find out what dating was. We had to look at to movies and TV and then see how that has influenced the society as at whole. And then we look at our friends and what their relationships they're involved in. And we came up with a definition, and the high school said it's two people who have mutually agreed that their friendship has leveled up. That's kind of youth language for they take it to the next level. Well, what does it mean to take a friendship to the next level? What are the biblical categories of relationships? We look at the Bible. God gives us 3 clear categories of relationships. Family, you don't date your family. You don't date your sister. You don't date your mom. Actually, they give all 3 of those things as no-nos in the Bible. Secondly, friends and strangers. Jesus calls these people our neighbors. We're supposed to love them as ourselves. And Paul tells us in Ephesians 5 that there shouldn't even be a hint of sexual immorality named among us. So we love our neighbors. There's no sexual immorality. We don't date friends. This is a totally separate category of relationships. And of course, we don't date strangers. Third category is the marriage relationship. This is the ultimate leveling up. There's an ultimate level of commitment between you and God and your spouse. To get out of that relationship, that commitment relationship, you have to go before the court and pay money. You don't take that promise and commitment lightly. And also within that, there's the ultimate allowance and command of the romance relationship. Now, how do we define what a biblical dating category is if we don't find it in the Bible? Well, that's a problem because we're not going to be able to do that. So what we have to do is understand how this hybrid of category that's the dating relationship is today that we know it as, and how do we think of that critically as Christians. And what we talked about last night is that this hybrid of more than dating but less than married really is built on very shaky ground. There's no actual commitment. There's nothing stopping a person from getting in an argument on Tuesday, breaking up on Wednesday, crying through until Thursday, and dating someone else on Friday. It's very common. Also, what it does is it breaks our other categories apart and hurts them. Our friendship category, I can't even tell you how many times students have come to me and said, you know, our circle of friends has been disrupted because 2 of our friends started to date. It didn't go well. We don't all approve of it, and now they kind of just all neglect us. And now that loving our neighbor aspect of friendship is just really messed up. And then also we take these categories and standards that are only meant for marriage, we pull them down into this dating relationship and say, you know, we're not going to go all the way, but we do want this attention aspect and commitment aspect that God says is only for marriage, but we want that before we get married. So we bring in this we draw these boundary lines of what romance is. But you know, if the Bible says that romance is only meant for marriage, how do we know how much romance is too much or too little? And the problem is that I think the Bible's clear is that any relationship that you have outside of marriage should be the same. I mean, the relationships you have with your siblings and your friends and strangers, as far as romantic relationship goes, it's all the same. The relationship I have with my sister should be looking the same as any other relationship I have with any other girl in my church or my school. If I wouldn't do that stuff with my sister, I wouldn't do that with my girlfriend or girls that I know. So we really challenge this dating or relationship category with a biblical view. So I think that there was a good conversation. The youth really seemed to engage well. So I want to give you some resources now. So here's the first one. It's an e-booklet called Waiting, Dating, and Mating by Frank Gill, pastor in Florida. I got permission from Pastor Frank to give this ebook to you for free. So please download it and take advantage of this resource. It's very helpful. If you want to get into more in-depth study, this Waiting, Dating, and Mating series was based on this book called Sex, Dating, and Relationships by Gerald Heiston and Jay Thomas. It's orange, so represent you Princetonian people. Really good book, in-depth, culturally relevant, biblically minded, gospel-centered, Christocentric. Very good, very helpful read for me as I study this, and I hope it's a helpful read to you if you decide to go out and buy that for yourself. So I'll see you again next week. God bless.